How do I even do this? It's been a month. Hi, my name is Laura and welcome to Sunday Morning Knits, my knitting podcast where I talk about all fiber related crafts that I have been up to lately. It has been a month since I last recorded. I had intended to record over Christmas break and that just didn't happen. So, hi, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for joining. I am going to be doing a little bit of a different kind of episode today. Instead of talking about what I've knit in the past month, or normally 2 weeks, but it would be a month this time, my whips, finished objects, things like that. Instead, today I'm going to be talking about everything I knit in 2024. I think I have everything that I knit that's not a gift, because obviously the gifts have been like given to people. And I have my iPad out so that I can look things up on Ravelry. Okay, yes, I have Ravelry pulled up on my iPad so that I can go over everything. And I think I have everything that I knit beside me here. So, let's go. Let's start this off. So, over the course, actually, I have to look at my stats. I forgot about that. This is what happens when you don't record for an entire month. Okay, so I have my stats. Over the course of 2024, I knit 26 total projects. I knit 5 miscellaneous projects. That includes, like, I knit like a patch, a yarn cozy, things like that. I knit 5 garments. So I knit 2 tops, 2 vests, and 1 sweater. I knit 3 scarves slash shawls. I knit 12 pairs of socks, and I knit 1 hat. So let's go over each of those. I'm gonna start off with a hat because I don't have this hat. I gifted this hat to my boyfriend in January, and it was a little bit of an adventure. Okay, so I got the yarn, I think in January. He came with me to pick it out. It was really nice. I just didn't realize that it was Aran weight, and I started to knit on Musselburgh, and I picked the wrong needle size, and it turned out way too small. Like, I blocked the crap out of this hat, and it was way too small. So I ripped it out, or ripped half of it out, and then just knit like a ripped brim, and then gave it to him. So I don't have that hat. It is in possession of my boyfriend. If I have a photo of it, I will pop it in somewhere. I don't think I even have a photo of it. I was so sick of that hat by the end that I was like, I hate this. Here you go. I never want to see this hat again. So I have no idea if I even have a photo, but that was the one and only hat that I knit this year. Okay, let's look at my Ravelry and see what was the next thing I made. The hat was definitely the first thing that I made in 2024. The second thing that I made in 2024 was I knit a hot water bottle cover. So I knit this out of boucle. This is my very first boucle project. And from this project, I learned that I absolutely detest boucle. Yeah, I knit this out of Sorella DK Boucle in the colorway Birch from the winter collection. And it was so hard to knit with. I didn't like that I couldn't see my stitches. I didn't like that I kept picking up the loop of the boucle instead of like the loop on my needles. Drove me absolutely insane. So I finished this project and I was like, I will never, ever, ever knit with boucle ever again. And I say that and it's been a year because I finished this in January of 2024. And I'm like, oh, maybe a boucle project would be fun. And I want to knit like boucle mittens now or something. So I might give boucle another shot in 2025. We shall see. But I just detested knitting this. I also think I picked the wrong color for a hot water bottle cover. Like, I think the color would be cute for something that's not a hot water bottle cover, but on my hot water bottle cover, it just kind of looks like it's dirty. Like the yarn just looks dirty. I don't know. it'd be cute, I think, is something else. It didn't really work for the hot water bottle cover. But I did buy the yarn just on a whim. I didn't even think about the color because I just wanted boucle. I just wanted to try boucle. So I didn't even have like a project in mind when I bought the yarn. That's my hot water bottle cover. Project number 2. This fell under my miscellaneous category. I'm going to put that on the floor so that it's out of the way. Hi, kitty. Oh, we have a little cat distraction. Okay, my next project was my Abrazos slip over. Oh, I forgot to talk about the pattern. I am clearly out of practice, can you tell? So the hot water bottle pattern that I used was the All You Need, a Classic by London Leo. I believe it was a free hot water bottle pattern that I found on Ravelry. Okay, the next project was my Abrazos slip over. I'm not going to put this on because I think it would just tire me out to try everything on. And then you would end up with a podcast with very tired Laura. So we're not doing that. But that's my Abrazos slip over. Pardon me. This is a pattern by Kadri. It uses We Are Knitters Crazy Sexy, sorry, not We Are Knitters. This one uses either Wool in the Gang, Crazy Sexy Wool, or sorry, We Are Knitters, The Wool. And I believe I used the Wool in the Gang Crazy Sexy Wool because I hadn't tried it before and I really wanted to. I did not write down what size I made, so I have no idea. This project actually took me a while. I started this in 2023 and then I finished it in end of January, early February 2024. I really love the color. I think it's so cute. I think it's so me. I wore it once. I love how big and oversized it is. I actually added a little bit of waist shaping to the side of the vest. You can kind of see that it like dents in here. That's just because I didn't do the waist shaping super well. But I added a little bit of waist shaping so that it kind of goes like this on both sides rather than kind of like, it doesn't bow out, but like straight. I really liked how that turned out. I liked that it's high-low, so it's a little bit longer in the back than it is the front. I really loved that. But I really regretted my choice of yarn. The reason I've only worn this once is because this yarn pilled so badly. I knew that from the moment I got the yarn. Like the moment it arrived, I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is gonna pill. It is super soft merino wool. It is single ply, low twist. And I was like, this is gonna be a bit of a disaster. I was right. I wore it once and it pilled so badly that I haven't worn it since. For some reason, I want to like keep this nice and fresh for like a special occasion, but this isn't really a special occasion kind of vest. This is a like, it's minus 20 degrees Celsius outside kind of vest. And I don't experience that because I live in Los Angeles. I did experience that when I went home, which was lovely. Canada, nice and cold. But I didn't bring this with me because it would have just taken up far too much space in my suitcase. So, yeah. Overall, great pattern. Yarn is nice, but I'm not gonna knit with it again. My plan, once this sweater is pilled beyond repair, is I'm going to unravel it and use it as stuffing for knit stuffed animals. So the yarn's not going to go to waste once it is too pilled to wear, but I'm not gonna try to wear this out faster than I need to. So that was my third project of 2024. Okay, project number 4 of 2024 was a shawl pattern. I think this was early February, I test knit the Pim Pom shawl for Laura Penrose. This was a super fun shawl pattern to test. I really enjoyed it. Laura is lovely. I particularly loved learning how to do the scallops along the edge. I didn't know how to do that prior to this. I thought that was super fun, such a cute detail. I reach for this all the time. I bring it to school a lot. Obviously I live in Los Angeles, like I've mentioned, and one of the strange things about living in LA is that it's usually really warm outside. Like, I live in sundresses all year long, except for today when I'm wearing a sweater because I'm going to be talking about the sweater. But it's usually really warm, so I wear sundresses all year long because it's hot outside. But then you walk into buildings and they're like blasting the AC and it gets kind of cold. So shawls are very helpful for that. So this is a DK weight pattern. I used Quince & Co. Did I write it down on Ravelry? No, I started taking better notes like halfway through 2024. I used a Quince & Co yarn. That's the pink one, or the like, yeah, really dusty pink. And then the main color is fingering weight held double. I got it off Etsy. It is, I believe it was named after an owl. If I remember, I'll put it in the show notes. But at the moment, I'm drawing a blank. I have a regret about this shawl, and it's that I wish I would have picked a different color for the contrast down here. This pink is kind of echoed in the shawl main color, but I wish that I'd gone for like a dark brown or a dark gray, something that would have given a little bit of contrast and like pulled out some of those dark speckles that you see in the shawl. So I do kind of regret that, but I still wear the shawl all the time. I think it's very cute. I had a ton of fun testing for Laura Penrose. She's very sweet. So yeah, overall this project was a win. I reach for it all the time and I love it. Yeah, again, I think if I made this again, or if I could go back and change something, I'd do a different color, but I'm still very happy with it. So I don't know if I'll make this pattern again, but if I do, I will keep you updated. I very much enjoy knitting shawls, so you never know. Okay, so that was 2024 pattern number 4. Oh yeah, I forgot about these ones. Where did I put them? I have to go get this one. I'll be right back. So I actually forgot that I made this pattern in 2024. I thought I made them in 2023, but I had started them in 2023 and then finished them in March of 2024. And those are my pumpkin pie socks. Actually, I'll show off both because they have different heels. So you might recognize these because I actually turned these into a pattern. These are the pie socks that I released in November of 2024. This is my very first pair. I knit these in Woolberry Fibre Co. Pumpkin Pie Sock Set. I can't remember the specific colorways, but it's the Pumpkin Pie Sock Set. And I knit them on US size 1 needles. Oh, there's somebody outside. Weird. Okay, sorry. Getting distracted. I absolutely loved how these turned out. I haven't worn them because I wanted them to stay nice and fresh as a sample for my pattern. So unfortunately haven't had the chance to wear them, but I love them. I actually have a second set of this yarn, and I might make a pair of these, like exactly like these, that I can actually wear and not have to keep nice and perfect and fresh and clean as a sample so I can photograph for my pattern. But I really love them. Definitely one of my favorite pairs of socks that I knit in 2024, for sure. Yeah, I can't say that they're my favorite because I have another one that I like even more, but very, very proud of these. I love them so much. It was my first time adding crochet to a project, which I thought was really fun. Okay. Oh yeah, after that, I knit another pair of socks. These are just a pair of basic fingering weight socks. I made up the pattern as I went. It's very loosely based on the Patons. It is a Patons pattern that I learned when I was quite young, but quite loosely based on it. I've changed a lot of things. I did a half twisted rib cuff and a slip stitch heel. I did those in the contrast colors. This was the January sock set yarn club by Paisley Knits, inspired by A Court of Thorns and Roses. And if you know me, you know that I absolutely adore that series. So I started knitting these right away. Like as soon as I got the sock set delivered, started working on them, and I absolutely love how they turned out. I actually brought these home for Christmas with me. I have worn them. I think they're wonderful. Oh, they're so cute. I just love the pink and purple. Oh, gotta hide my face. Yeah, I just love that. I think it's so cute. So yeah, this was my January book club sock set socks. You'll see the book club from Paisley Knits pop up quite a few times. I got all of them this year. I haven't knit socks with all of them yet. I plan on it. It's in progress, but haven't quite done that yet. But you'll see quite a few. Okay, after that, I knit a Sophie scarf. This was the other yarn club that I was part of this year. This is the Mystery Cookware Club by Little Wing. Little Wing is the other one that I really love, but this was by Little Fibre Co. This was the January colorway Agave. For this club, I actually switched in March or April from getting yarn to getting fiber. So I have all of the Mystery Cookware colors, but like 3 of them are yarn and then the rest of them are fiber. This was one of the yarn ones, and I was really trying to knit with my club colorways the moment I got them because I didn't want them to sit in stash for too long, which is hilarious because most of them are now in stash. I did not succeed with that goal, but that's fine. But I was trying to knit with them right away. So for the January club Agave, I knit a lovely Sophie scarf. I love how it turned out. I modified this pattern a little bit just to make it longer. I wanted to use as much of the skein as I possibly could. And because I was getting the DK weight yarn, worked out totally fine. So it's a little bit longer than the Sophie scarf pattern calls for. I just basically knit until I was halfway through the skein and then started decreasing. I still ended up with like this much yarn left over, which was a wee bit annoying because I was trying to avoid that, but oh well, it's fine. This was my Sophie scarf, my January Mystery Cookware Club Sophie scarf. The next thing that I finished is this sweater. This is the Ian sweater by November Knits. I knit this in Knit Picks Simply Wool. I can't remember if it was the worsted or Aran, whichever one the pattern calls for was the one that I knit this with. I really love this sweater. Okay, wait, let me rephrase that. I have conflicting opinions about this sweater. I reach for this sweater all the time. It's like the perfect weight, perfect thickness. I don't find it scratchy. I love the color, but I don't like how this sweater fits me. I sized down quite a bit because I didn't think that 30 centimeters of positive ease was gonna look good on me. So I think I went for 10 centimeters of positive ease, and in retrospect, I regret that. I definitely should have done the 30 centimeters like the designer suggests. And I don't like the super dramatic split hem. Like you can see the split starts like here. I just find it doesn't suit my body the way that I want it to. Like it doesn't fit my style, doesn't look the way that I want it to. But this sweater is so comfy. So I think what I'm gonna do in 2025 is I'm gonna knit another sweater in this yarn because I think it's the yarn that I love, and see how that goes. I do highly recommend the yarn. I think if I were to knit this sweater closer to what the designer recommends, I think I'd like it a little bit more. I'm not sure if the super dramatic split hem is still for me anyway, even if I did knit it with the 30 centimeters of positive ease, but it is still a beautiful pattern. The details are amazing, like the raglan with the pearl stitches and the collar. I think it's all really beautiful. The sleeves are like the actual most perfect sleeve length I have ever knit for myself. Ugh, I knit it to pattern and it's exactly how I like to wear my sleeves. So perfect, but not my favorite style of sweater. I will say this is like I said, this is the sweater that I reach for the most, I think, of all the sweaters in my collection. Again, I think it's because this yarn has not really pilled, which is kind of crazy. I have knit a sweater in this yarn before and it did pill a little bit, but it held up like insanely well. Actually, and until that sweater, like the sweater is really worn out because I wore it so much. That was my most reached for sweater. So yeah, I think I just really love that yarn, this yarn. It's the Knit Picks Simply Wool. I think I just really love the yarn. It doesn't pill a ton. It's nice and warm. I don't find it too scratchy. I think the colors are just absolutely stunningly beautiful. So yeah, this is my Ian sweater by November Knits. This is also the only sweater that I actually finished in 2024. I have started 5 other sweaters, 2 of which are almost done, but this was the only one that I finished. And I actually think I started this sweater in 2023. I'm a very slow sweater knitter and I like to knit like a ton of projects at once. So it takes me a long time to finish sweaters. I'm totally okay with that. I know there are people out there who are monogamous knitters, pump out a ton of sweaters. Those people are amazing. I applaud them. It is not me. It takes me forever to finish a sweater, and I think that's totally fine. If you are like that, let me know in the comments. I'm curious if there are other people out there like me. Okay, the next thing that I knit, it was the, oh yes, there's one of them. Where's the other one? Okay. It was my Yarn Club 2024, the Paisley Knits Yarn Club for February. Again, another pair of basic socks. This is the colorway that was inspired by Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Once again, the moment I saw this, I was like, I have to cast this on because I adore Percy Jackson. I read them when I was in grade 7 and I ended up doing an undergrad and a master's degree in classics because of it. So had to cast on with these ASAP. Now I did do something slightly different. I did a 2x2 cuff for the, or a 2x2 rib for the cuff. Again, slip stitch heel and toes, also in the contrast color. Everything else was the same. I do a 64 stitch circumference for my socks. I usually do them on US 1 needles, sometimes US 1.5 depending on the yarn. So that was the same. The only thing that was different between this one and the other one was the cuff. Maeve, why are you standing on my computer? Please get off. Get off. Get off, kitty. Cats. So I have worn these as well. I don't think I've worn them as much as my January book club socks, just because I guess I reach for pink and purple slightly more than like bluey greens, but I still really love them. I think they're super cute. So yeah, those were my February book club socks, and I finished them in April. They took me 10 days to knit. After that, I knit another pair of socks. There's one. If I can find the other one. No. I don't know where the other one is, but I knit a pair of shorty socks next. This was using the scraps of the January book club sock set from Paisley Knits. So the main color was the Court of Thorns and Roses, and then the yellow was a mini advent that I'd gotten from 2023 from Playful Days Yarn. So it's, Maeve, what are you eating? I think she just ate Fluff. Kitty. Cats. Playful Days Yarn mini from a 2023 advent. I knit this as part of MSC Makes Shorty Socks Cal, and I had so much fun. I really like shorty socks, especially now that I live in Los Angeles. I don't have as much use for really tall socks other than like bopping around my apartment. So loved these. Definitely inspired me to make some more shorty socks, and hopefully I'll make a whole bunch more in 2025. Yeah, again, same as my other socks, 64 stitches, slip stitch heel, 2x2 cuff. So nothing too fancy. I generally bring a pair of socks to work on in like lectures and stuff if I'm sitting in lectures, especially for the classes that I TA, because I obviously know the material already. Otherwise I wouldn't be TAing the course. So I usually work on socks during lectures, sometimes even during seminars. My profs are totally fine with it. So that's why often my socks are all the same, because it's really easy. I have it memorized, that kind of thing. So yeah. Okay, after that, I finished a scarf. This is the L scarf. This is a pattern by Kadri. I believe it was a free pattern, but I don't quite remember. I knit this with Katia yarn that I picked up in the Netherlands when I was there in 2023. So this was a really fun, what's the word I'm looking for? A pattern using memento yarn. That's not the word I'm looking for, but that's kind of the idea. Yarn that was really special to me that I really wanted to make something cute out of. It's a really tiny scarf. I probably could have gone up a needle size and gotten a little bit more out of this because it's quite a dense scarf. But it's really lovely. It took me quite a while to knit just because I only ever worked on this pattern when I was FaceTiming with my friend, because we would FaceTime for like 4 or 5 hours at a time, but we'd only do it like every like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So it took me forever to knit, but I got there in the end. It's very cute. I think I've worn it once. Same with the blue Sophie scarf that I showed earlier on. I love them, but it's so hot here in Los Angeles that I like never have the opportunity to wear them, which is very sad because it's so cute. It's just like a little tiny scarf. I think Kadri's version is a little bit longer, but I didn't have enough yarn, so that's okay. I quite love it. I think it's very beautiful. Someday I will have the chance to wear it. I feel like I'm knitting a wardrobe for a climate that I don't live in. Partially because as soon as I'm done my PhD here at UCLA, I do want to move. I don't really like the climate. I don't really love living in Los Angeles. It's a lot. So my partner and I are talking about moving to like colder places as soon as I'm done, which I'm very much looking forward to, and will mean that my entire wardrobe will be far more useful. I'll get there someday. I still have a ways to go through my PhD, but that's okay. Okay, the next thing that I knit was teeny tiny and fell into the miscellaneous category. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I already talked about, I found the other mini sock that I forgot about. Okay, this was the next thing that I knit. It's a little felted bunny patch. Is this not the cutest thing that you have ever seen? I test knit this for Melody Hoffman. I had never felted anything before, which was so much fun. And if you know me, you know I love bunnies. See my Sasky sweater that I've been talking about in all of my other podcasts. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, well, I absolutely have to test knit that because that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I haven't put it on anything yet. I don't know what to put it on. Maybe I should just put it on this sweater. I don't know. I really want to make a sweater and make big versions of these and like use them as little elbow patches. I think that'd be so cute. So that is on my list for 2025. I just can't decide if I want to make the pattern for the sweater myself or use a pattern that already exists. If I use a pattern that already exists, I think I want to use the Emily Curtis Gently Chaotic Knits dad's sweater pattern. So we'll see. We shall see what happens. But I think it was just so cute. And this was the next thing that I knit in 2024. After that, I ended up making 800 pairs of my Cassandra socks. So this was the very first one that I made. I actually only made one of this, and I am counting it as a finished pair because I don't know if I ever really intend to make the other one. This was just basically a sample of the Cassandra socks. I had pitched the idea to Coley, and we both really loved it, and I just wanted to see how it looked and how it was going to turn out. I knit this the smallest size, so this was 60 stitches. I wanted to make sure that I had the stitch count right, had the cable pattern right, the chart was right, all of that. So I knit this. I knit this using Little Wing Fibre Co. Stormy Skies. You'll see this yarn again in a pattern later on with the matching semi-tonal that I had ordered in 2024. I ordered the matching mini semi-tonals for all of her sky colorways because I had gotten all the sky colorways in 2023 and wanted to turn them all into socks. And I used an extra special sparkly yarn for the toe. This is Sorella Stellina in the colorway Odette, I believe, from the ballet collection. So this is the first of several pairs of Cassandra socks that I made. I really love this. It is my best selling, best downloaded pattern on Ravelry of all time. I've been publishing patterns for about 5 years now. The Cassandra socks immediately became my best selling pattern and remains so to this day. It's a free pattern and you can find the link in my show notes if you're interested. But that was the first one that I knit, and then I knit the next sample. This one was done in Paisley Knits yarn in the March book club colorway, I do believe, which was inspired by the book Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which is one of my all-time favorite books. So once again, as soon as I got this sock set, I was like, I obviously have to cast this on, and was in the middle of designing this pattern for a collaboration with Coley, and decided to cast on my second sample in this colorway. So I also only have one sock for this. I am counting it as a finished one. I do plan on doing the second one. I just have to get around to it. And the reason that I didn't get around to doing the second one for this is because then by that time I had received the final yarn that I was going to be using for the Cassandra socks, and so I just knit my sample pair in that one. But I did make this one in size 2 to make sure that the charts worked for size 2, so 64 stitches. I really love how the cable pattern turned out on the variegated red, but it doesn't photograph well, which was very frustrating. It looks so pretty in person, and then I just can't photograph it for some reason. Very annoying, but a lesson learned. That's definitely something I need to keep in mind when designing patterns and knitting my samples for them. Okay, so after that was my final pair of the Cassandra socks. This was using Coley's Taylor Swift collection in the colorway The One. That's the main color. I can't remember what the two contrast colors are, but the main color was The One. And this is using her new sock base, Cove sock. Highly recommend. I love it, and you'll be seeing more of that shortly. That's all I can say about that for now. But yeah, the next thing I knit was my final sample of the Cassandra socks. I knit the size 3 for this one, which means the only size I didn't knit was size 4, but I had it thoroughly tested. So yeah, those are my millions of samples of the Cassandra socks. Okay. The next thing I knit also falls into the miscellaneous category, and that is my Florence bag. I knit a very small little Florence bag. I knit this using Pearl Soho Sweetgrass in the colorway Rye. I had the lace version of Sweetgrass. I know there was a different one for a while. I think it was fingering weight, but I had the lace version, so I held it triple. I only needed one skein, which was really nice. And I got this really beautiful tiny purse. I do wish that I had knit the bigger size, so maybe I'll do that this year in 2025 because I really love this purse. I just find it really small. But I think it's so cute and it turned out so well. This was my first time adding a zipper to anything. And I modified the pattern a little bit. I added little tiny tabs on the sides here and little D-clips so that I could attach a removable strap to the purse. Just because I didn't want to sew on like a leather strap to this, and I'm really glad that I did. I learned a lot. It was a lot of fun. It's not perfect, but that's okay. I'm still very happy with how it turned out. I really love this stitch pattern, and I want to use it again for something in 2025. So yeah, the yarn is an alpaca cotton blend, which I was like, what the heck? I have to try this when I bought it, and I adore it. I highly recommend, if you've never knit with alpaca cotton, that you check it out. It is very, very cool. So yeah, I used this quite a bit during the summer in 2024, and I will be using it quite a bit more in 2025 because I really loved it. The next thing I knit was a test knit. I'm sitting on it. Can you tell I take really good care of my hand knits? Yeah, so the next thing I knit was a test knit. It was my Lunan tee for the Crayabea. Yeah. So I knit this in Pearl Soho. It's the cotton wool blend. I can't remember what it's called though. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. But I did the t-shirt version, so no polo neck. There's a polo neck option for this as well. It's really beautiful. It has like really beautiful back detailing. I love how it turned out. And I reach for this all the time. My only qualm with this is the shoulder drop. I find the shoulders, or the armhole drop, sorry, it stretched out so much and it's huge now. And I don't know if this is because of the pattern and the fact that the armhole was really deep, or if the yarn just stretched out that much. I don't know. I still really love it, but it means that I can't really wear it out in public, even if I'm wearing a bra, because then you like see the bra and you see a lot. So I can't really wear this in public, but I still love it. I wear it all the time when I'm home. It's super comfy. Maybe I should just make this again in a slightly different yarn. Yeah. I made a whole vlog testing this pattern and knitting this pattern for Rebecca, so if you're interested, go check out the vlog. But yeah, otherwise I reach for this all the time. I love it. This was the very first summer garment that I ever knit, which is hilarious because I've been living in LA for 2 years by that point, and I had still never knit a summer garment. So very relevant for the climate that I live in, and I ended up reaching for it a ton in 2024. It never pilled, but it definitely stretched out. So something to keep in mind if you ever want to use this yarn by Pro Soho. Yeah, so that was my Lunan. The next thing that I knit was also a top. I knit the Flutterbutt shirt by Jessie Made Designs. Now this one it's quite wrinkly and quite pilled because I actually brought this home for the holidays and wore this while I was back home. It's a t-shirt style-ish top with a really cute peplum that I really love. I talked about this a lot on my podcasts because I wore this to Flock. This is another top that I reached for so much in 2024. I think the combination of just how it fit and how it looked and the yarn made it one of my favorite knits of 2024. I used Salty Blonde Fibre Co. No Judge of Beauty in her MCN yarn, and it is so soft and so stunningly beautiful that, yeah, I reached for this constantly in 2024. Again, works out really well for the climate because I live in a very hot climate, and surprisingly, this does a really good job at keeping me cool. Fun fact, merino doesn't just keep you warm, it can also keep you cool and like temperature regulated. So I wore this a ton. My only problem with this is the first time I knit it, it's bottom up, and I didn't knit it long enough. So I had to do sweater surgery, and I had to cut it and Kitchener it back together, and you can kind of see the line where I Kitchenered it, which is a little bit annoying. And you can see it when I wear it too, which is a little bit frustrating, but doesn't stop me from wearing it. I really do love this. So maybe I'll make another version in 2025. Who knows? But highly, highly recommend the Flutterbutt shirt by Jessie Mae Designs. I think it's so cute. It was a joy to knit. The pattern was wonderful, and I wear it all the time. So highly recommend. I really love that pattern. After that, I decided to go back to knitting socks, and I knit the Corinthian socks. Now this is a pattern that I just released. I knit this back in like July or August, and had it tested in, I think, September, but I held off on releasing it because I wanted to release the pie socks first. So this pattern actually just came out on January 1st. You can find it for free on my Ravelry or on my website. This was also knit in Little Wing Fibers Stormy Skies yarn. I absolutely adore this yarn. I actually bought several more skeins of it when I went and met Marcella at Flock because I just love it so much. It's so cute. This pattern was inspired by Corinthian style columns. So there's fan and feather lace at the top and then ribbing to kind of emulate what Corinthian style columns look like. I absolutely loved knitting this. This one also comes in 4 sizes and it has been thoroughly tested. So yeah, hands down, this is one of my favorite patterns because it combined lace and I had never designed a lace pattern prior to this. So I was very proud, very happy with how it turned out. Yeah, I have not actually knit the second one. I only knit the first one. I will knit the second matching one to this at some point. Might take me a while to get to it though. It's actually sitting like cast on my desk and has been for about 6 months. But other interesting things have popped up that I have wanted to knit more. So that's why I haven't finished the second one, but I'm still counting it as a finished object for 2024. Oh yes, after that I knit a yarn cozy using some scraps, and I'll pop in a photo somewhere because I don't know where it is. It is doing its job being a yarn cozy on something somewhere. I don't know where. But that was really fun. It was a pattern by Knitty Natty, and I got the yarn cozy light, so the fingering weight pattern, and I did the little modification where you add a little loop so that you can hook it on something on like an airplane so your ball of yarn doesn't go flying. I really loved it. I thought it was very cute. I will be definitely knitting more. It used up almost all of the scraps that I had, and it's perfect for my skein of yarn. It was just lovely. What a lovely pattern. Very well written. Highly recommend. I will link it in the show notes down below. Yeah, that was the next thing that I did. After that, I knit a pair of fingerless gloves using some nice tweed red yarn. I never got a photo of them because they were a gift, and as soon as I finished them, I sent them off because they were like 8 months after I promised I would knit them. And I just forgot to sit down and take a photo, but they went to my boyfriend's mom. I designed the pattern for her, knit them according to her specifications. I really hope she likes them. Yeah, that was the next thing that I knit after that. The next socks I finished in October, but I actually have been knitting them for a while. These are my baseball socks. I was very inspired by Emily Curtis of Gently Chaotic Knits, who was also a huge baseball fan and did this one year for her favorite teams. Every single stripe on the sock represents either a win or a loss of the team from that year. So on this sock, the red represents a win, the white represents a loss, and on this one, the blue represents a win and the white represents a loss. They're using the team colors. So this one is the Philadelphia Phillies and this is the Toronto Blue Jays. I cheer for both teams. I am Canadian, so I have to cheer for the Blue Jays. But my partner is a huge Phillies fan and I have been indoctrinated into Philadelphia love. So I'm also a huge Phillies fan now too. And I cataloged their seasons. As you can tell, the Phillies did a whole lot better than the Jays. And the Phillies went to playoffs. So their the toe actually is their playoff wins until they were kicked out of the playoffs, unfortunately. So I actually haven't worn these socks yet. I probably should. I think that'd be really cute. But I just want to keep them nice and pretty because I just think they're so cute. And it was such a cute idea of Emily to do this that I was like, well, I want to do that too. And I want to keep them nice and pretty because of that. I will be doing this again this year once baseball season starts, again for the Phillies and the Jays, or sorry, yeah, the Phillies and the Jays. I think I'm going to do socks again. I think they'll be really cute. I don't know how I'm going to differentiate them from this year's socks. I haven't decided that yet. I knit them as an afterthought heel, so I basically just knit like a really long tube doing the stripes for the win or the loss, and then once I was done I went back and added a heel. It was really easy. I couldn't figure out how to do jogless stripes, which was really annoying, so you can actually see the jogs. Maybe I'll figure out how to do that this year for the socks. Who knows? And I used Heritage by Cascade sock yarn, and it's wonderful. I adore that sock yarn. It is a fantastic price. Honestly, all of the Cascade yarn, I've used quite a bit of it this year, is just amazing. Their sock yarn, $2.20 is amazing too. Like, Cascade. If you are looking for a budget-friendly yarn, highly recommend Cascade. So yeah, those are my baseball socks. I love them so much. Thank you, Emily, for the idea. I then knit my second pair of pie socks. This one does not have a frill yet because I never got around to it, and also the ends aren't woven in. I just had to make sure that like the sock numbers worked out for this one. And then I actually did the frill on this one as a tutorial video, so I didn't feel like doing the frill on this one. Maybe I'll get around to that at some point, but this was my set that was, oh, I got a weird notification. Anyway, this is my set that was inspired by Cherry Pie. It's using Tart by Madeline Tosh, and I think it just captures Cherry Pie so well. I really love them. Again, I haven't worn these because I wanted them to stay nice and fresh and clean for pattern video or pattern photos, but maybe I'll start wearing them now. Who knows? The problem is I'm always like, what if I need to take more pattern photos later down the road? Like, what if I run out or if I lose them? Like, I'm gonna want to take more photos. And then, like, what if the socks are gross? This has actually happened with one of my other patterns. This happened with my Weaver socks. Oh, it's tough. I don't know. Who knows? I have my third pumpkin pie sock. I did have another version. I had the second one, like the matching sock. So I did actually knit two of these, but I stained it and ended up just throwing it out, which was very sad because I worked very hard and I was going to give them as a gift to somebody, but I didn't have time to knit a third one or the desire to knit a third one. So alas, I now just have one. It's not even blocked. But this was inspired by Blueberry Pie, and I used the colorway Flash Dance by Madeline Tosh. I became a big fan of Tosh sock this year. I think it's a really good, hardy, hard-wearing sock yarn. So if you're looking for a beautiful hand-dyed sock yarn, I highly recommend Tosh Sock. Okay, the next thing I knit was the biscuit slipover. This was a test knit for Bridget of BCB Knits. If you're watching this, Bridget, hi! I still haven't added the neckline. I finished the neckline for the test knit. I modified it a little bit and then hated it. And I was like FaceTiming with Bridget the next day or something, and I was like, I ripped out my neckline because I should have followed your pattern and done what you said, because you were 100% right. I still haven't added that back to it, but oh well. This was my first time doing brioche, and it was syncopated brioche. So you can see both the brioche purls and the brioche knits. This was so much fun and has inspired me to do more brioche. I currently have a brioche cardigan on my needles and I love it. So thank you, Bridget, for pushing me to do brioche. I am obsessed. I think it's so cute. I can't wait to wear this more in 2025. I think it'll look so cute with like a little turtleneck underneath it. But I do need to block it because I haven't done that yet, and I need to stretch it lengthwise because it came out really wide, like wider than it should have. So I need to like stretch it lengthwise. So yeah, that was my biscuit slipover. I don't think I have anything else to say about this because I talked about it really recently in a podcast video. Sorry, there's an alarm going off outside. Someone's car alarm. Oh my god, the sky is the most beautiful color I've ever seen. The sky is like bubblegum pink and like cotton candy blue. Wow. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted. Oh, and the alarm is off. Awesome. Okay. Yikes. Okay. Oh, and there was one last thing I finished in 2024, and that was a pair of socks for my brother for Christmas. I'm going to pop a picture in here because I obviously gave them to him at Christmas. And it is now January, so I don't have them on me anymore. And I believe that is everything that I knit and finished in 2024. Yes, I'm looking at my Ravelry. That was everything that I knit and finished in 2024. I have quite a few whips coming with me into 2025, so I'm going to try to finish those up here in January. If you're interested in what those whips are, stick around for my next podcast episode. I'm going to talk about all of them then. And see how many I can finish this month. Hopefully it's most of them. I have 2 sweaters that are almost done that I think I can finish, but I have a couple patterns coming out and I need to finish my samples for those because they're going to come out over the next few months. So I gotta do that first. Stick around and check out the podcast if you're interested in hearing about those as well. Otherwise, that is everything I knit in 2024. Thank you so much for watching and for sticking around this long. If you have made it this far, please let me know in the comments what your favorite thing that I knit in 2024 was. I would love to hear. Let me know what your favorite thing to knit in 2024 was. I'd love ideas for 2025. If you liked this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button so you can get more content like this from me. Thank you so much for watching, and happy knitting. Talk to you soon. Bye.